You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Monty Python twist MS now in awe as Trump ally forced to run against a trash can. Based on an article by Daniel Hampton. Farage Stunt, the money behind it, and the weakness it exploits. A brief source read. Nigel Farage resigned his UK Parliament seat while under investigation over millions of pounds in undisclosed gifts from wealthy backers, then triggered a special election he can run in again. The result is a grotesque little sideshow. The major parties refused to field candidates, and Farage only declared opponent is Count Binface, a satirical figure in a trash can helmet. The real story is not the costume. The article's comic surface risks obscuring the actual political event. A hard-right figure with real institutional power is using procedure to manage scrutiny. Farage is not being buffeted by chaos. He is actively shaping the terms of accountability, resigning, forcing a by-election, and casting himself as the target of a hostile establishment are not signs of confusion, they are tactics. The core issue is not that British politics has become silly, it is that a major political actor is alleged to have benefited from undisclosed gifts and then gets to convert that scrutiny into a campaign narrative. That is not an accident. It is the familiar privilege of men who can treat the rules as scenery. Power, money, and the victim routine. The power structure here is plain. Farage has the platform, the loyal base, and the ability to turn an investigation into a performance. The wealthy backers named in the reporting are part of the same ecosystem. Money flows upward into movement politics. Then the beneficiary claims persecution when anyone asks where it came from. That is the real misdirection. The liberal establishment is not the protagonist. The central question is why someone facing scrutiny over undisclosed benefits can still dictate the frame, choose the moment, and sell himself as the aggrieved party. Farage is not being cancelled. He is being asked to account for money. The major parties chose retreat. The refusal of every major UK party to field a candidate was presented as a rebuke to Farage's stunt. It is also a sign of political exhaustion. By stepping aside, the party ceded the field to satire and spectacle, leaving the contest to a clownish proxy while the underlying scandal remains in place. That may feel satisfying in the short term, but it is also a kind of institutional abdication. If the Democratic parties will not contest the seat, then the far-right figure gets to fight a shadow opponent and complain about disrespect. The absence of an alternative is not a neutral choice. It is a vacancy that reactionary politics knows how to exploit. Satire fills the void left by serious politics. Count Binface is funny because this situation is absurd. He is also funny because the system has made itself vulnerable to exactly this kind of absurdity. When politics is reduced to branding, grievance, and procedural theater, satire becomes the most honest thing in the race. But satire is not a substitute for power. A comedian in a trash can helmet can mock the performance. He cannot solve the deeper problem of a political class that normalizes wealthy influence, tolerates shameless self-exoneration, and then acts surprised when the public starts treating elections like farce. The pattern beneath the joke. This story is not really about a clown suit or a bizarre by-election. It is about how authoritarian and hard-right politics launder misconduct through spectacle. The method is always similar: accumulate money, provoke scrutiny, invoke persecution, and force everyone else to respond to the theater instead of the underlying abuse. That is the larger political lesson. Farage's stunt works because institutions keep allowing powerful operators to turn accountability into performance. The joke lands because the system is already corroded enough to make a trash can look more serious than the man trying to outrun his own donor scandal. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Raw Story for today's article, with the automated voice of Kristen. Thanks for listening.